First of all, get this out of the way, Exodus over here is coming from a team of ex-BioWare developers, versus touted as a Mass Effect-esque, time-bending science fiction role-playing game. You wanna consider this is also the same team who previously came up with Magic the Gathering games. Exodus over here is a open-world game in nature, where players can almost explore the entire universe as a traveler. This game is coming to PCs in the next generation of consoles, possibly late 2024.
The Celestials hunted us down. I knew they'd keep chasing us until they ripped our ship apart, and I had to save her. I led them away from this world, away from her.
For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive.
Number 2, we have, once again over here, George Lucas's most anticipated AAA game, Outlaws. Previously rumored to be coming in 2025, Star Wars Outlaws is coming out for PCs and the next generation of consoles on August 30 this year. In fact, Outlaws goes on a whole different direction compared to previous entries of the franchise in both scale and also story. You might also want to know, this is actually the work of Ubisoft, Lucasfilms and also Disney, all partnering up to bring this bad boy on all consoles.
Is mixed up in something bigger. The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
Jump to riskier sectors with high risk, high reward, or take a safer route. Do you want components for your ship? Do you need repairs? Or perhaps some extra credits?
A developer's first work. We mentioned this a few days ago. Jump Ship here is a mission-based 4-player co-op game, and the name Jump Ship is because you're the member of a spaceship 1,000 years into the future, and you gotta jump on and off of different ships to scavenge and fight for your survival on different planets, but also not alone, with your friends. It's basically Halo, but then you take control of a ship and upgrade it a lot along the way. This game is coming to PCs exclusively late 2024.
When that's done and all loot is collected, it's time to return to the ship and... Pirates! All crew to their stations! Oof, that was close. Good thing nothing got severely broken. Let's jump to the next sector. I wonder what we'll find there. Jump Ship is packed with a wide range of challenges, from intense ship battles to on-foot exploration, and sometimes a mix of both. Every jump will feel fresh and give you something to...
That could make the difference between losing a few lights or losing your entire FTL drive. As you can imagine, if you're playing as an engineer, you'll certainly have a lot to be getting on with.
Coming in at number 4, we've got a somewhat brand new AAA going by the name over here, Starship Simulator. Earlier in the year, we have had over 2 trailers for this one, but this is an update. See, Starship Sim is a science fiction space exploration sandbox game, obviously set 200 years into the future from today, and you come in as this new member of mankind's first deep space vessel to explore the unknown. Now, this thing's coming from a Kickstarter campaign and it has a huge premise in scale.
Highly advanced spacefaring culture with motivations far beyond human understanding. Alien cultures will also have a wide array of procedural attributes that will shape their reaction to your presence. They could be pacifistic space hippies or bloodthirsty psychopaths that just want to watch the galaxy burn. We'll also be procedurally generating their political structure, their history, and many other details to make each new culture you encounter different from the last. And that last point is actually very important, because with a game that focuses entirely on exploration as its main hook, diversity of content is critical to maintain the joy of discovery. We're taking depth of content very seriously, and depending on how well we're funded, our intention is to create a team of developers whose job it will be to focus 100% on just creating new content for the galaxy.
One of the sub studios in charge of the Witcher games, and also the upcoming remake, Witcher, we've been hearing about since last year, has 2 games in the making right now. Both big ones. First one goes by the name The Night Wanderer. Coming to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PCs, although the release date for it is yet to be announced, this is a AAA Unreal Engine 5 made science fiction fantasy RPG Souls-like and a Metroidvania in pace. Check it out.
Quickly realizes that what was supposed to be a lifetime job opportunity turns into a desperate fight for his life. Jan will need to handle a large mobile base that's designed to be operated by an entire team of qualified personnel.
So Alters, or The Alters if that really makes a difference, at number 6 over here is a story-heavy decision-based adventure. It's actually from the same developers of the Frostpunk games and their stuff like This War of Mine, a couple most addicting games on the platform. Alters over here is about this guy named John. He's basically trying to survive on his own on this planet, and Alters is basically about the alternate realities where what your decisions could eventually alter without you even noticing along the way. Yeah, it's somewhere the story of emotions and logics can affect your destiny.
Alternative versions of himself. The Alters. Obstacles on the outside. Internal tensions that could prove to be even more dangerous. And with a ticking clock of the deathly sun behind our backs, the only way home is to press forward.
He wants to see his father one last time. He holds you close.
Number 7, we've got Warship.
And their fate
announced roughly a
now
month ago. This is a
squarely
single-player
upon your
narrative-driven
shoulders.
action adventure. It's developers' first work, and technically
beg you,
speaking,
John,
based on a graphic
give up
novel of the same
before
name.
it's
It's a
too late.
third-person action shooter. You take on the
There's no
role of a
turning
rebel
back.
commanding a star
will
cruiser
see my
against
kids
its
again.
tyrannical regime. Take a look. Warship Jolly Roger is coming to pieces in the PlayStation 5 later this year.
Alright, we need to move. Kowalski, Elisa, Trace, are we all set for Voss?
The sails have been installed and have more power in them than I expected. Ariel's a real shithole that, well, it keeps on giving after all.
Hey, the coordinates for Planet Voss are dialed in. We're ready to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. Can't believe we're really going.
Dexton's reign ends with us. We're bringing my children home. Brace yourselves. Engaging max thrust protocols. Next stop, Planet Voss.
Deliver the best experience.
Get out of sight. The Cutlass is gonna spot you.
Moving on to number 8, we've got over here one of the oldest projects in the making, of course, Star Citizen's Squadron 42. It's a near 12-year-old game now finally happening later on in the following months. It's actually a flight sim game, but in space. It's a first-person shooter too, like the Starfield. Squadron over here, though, will feature a new cast as opposed to Star Citizens. An immersive experience in both story and gameplay, possibly is one of the biggest projects of the past few years in its own genre, including Starfield.
We're also dialing in gameplay features, such as the ship flight model, for both atmosphere and space, which covers master modes, control surfaces, and our gold standard HUD and MFDs. Our interaction system for both the world and your character have also seen additional improvements, allowing us to hone and craft environmental puzzles unique to each location, while allowing us to tell the story of the world around you.
It all started with a scientific expedition to the planet Turion, where the New Horizons Corporation was hoping to find new life forms.
Touted as a extraction horror game with high-stakes, asymmetrical combat. Level 0 Extraction, here as you can see, is a multiplayer FPS extraction shooter that should let you play as both sides. You could either play solo or in team fights with human beings against aliens, or as the enemy side and taking down every single human. You can also go rogue and just betray other players so you can save yourself. That's the beauty of it. Anyway, this game is coming to all consoles mid to late 2024.
Are sending mercenaries to retrieve this research data by all means necessary. That's where we come in.
Emergency power supply cut off.
Coming from the same team behind Void Train, or the first Breathedge game from a couple of years ago, Red Ruins, these developers just revealed their official trailer on the sequel, Breathedge 2. They said it's coming to PCs only by the final quarter of 2024. If you miss out on this franchise, we're talking about a retro futuristic space survival game for here that's now, as developers put it, amping up the whole experience in scale, replay, quality, and context. If you missed out on its original release from earlier in the year, we've got another Unreal Engine 5 project coming from the same developers of the game Close to the Sun, something here called by the name Steel Seed, which is a single-player stealth action adventure game set in a dark science fiction world where you play as a female protagonist inside this underground facility that's being run by AI. I think it's a little bit inspired by Stellar Blade, the upcoming game. There's a lot more going on, some Blade Runner, some Prince of Persia even. This game is coming to PCs in the next generation of consoles, late 2024.
Put aside their differences, and for 100 years worked together to construct a grand mothership that could transport 600,000 Kushan to Higara.
Coming in at number 12, right now possibly the most anticipated strategy game of 2024. In fact, the longest awaited game in the list has got to be Homeworld 3. Homeworld 3 finally hits PCs exclusively on May 13. Developers say that this over 20 years of work is going to be delivered. There's a new roguelike mode. All in all, the sequel will be less punishing than its predecessors, including 2 camera control schemes right now, a modern and a classic. Well, depending on your preference, it's how it looks.
Karen rescued all that remained of her people. But instead of fleeing into the dark, Karen turned the mothership into the tip of a spear aimed directly at Higara. In the war that ensued thereafter, Karen's fleet emerged victorious. The Taidan Empire was shattered, and the Kushan reclaimed their homeworld, becoming Higarans once more.
above. To reach out where no one has dared before. We chose to do this not because it was easy, but because it was hard.
Coming up behind that, we have Crust. That's right. But first of all, it's another science fiction factory building management game with exploration, base building elements, immersing players, and a desperate struggle for their survival. The future, of course, as humanity faces a real extinction. The story begins in the middle of chaos, and you come in as the director of a crucial mission, who has to establish a new civilization on the moon. You can visit this game's Kickstarter campaign. It's supposedly coming out of PCs by the end of the year.
Ingenious mechanical systems enhanced our efficiency and productivity, allowing us to successfully meet the needs of our new home. But as expected, it was not without its setbacks. We emerged stronger and more united in our resolve. As more colonists arrived, our settlement thrived and expanded. This was a monumental leap for humanity.
Welcome to the interstellar wilderness. To be able to survive up here, you'll first have to embrace the solitude.
Starminer over here is definitely one of my favorite games in the list. Not because it's from a famous publisher or anything, but it has a very nostalgic vibe, almost as if you're playing through the StarCraft games cutscenes in real time yourself. Starminer is, as you can see, it's a sandbox science fiction economy sim, or rather strategy role-playing game. It's basically you against aliens, and just pretty much what's left in space for everybody to harvest for a little bit of profit. Number 15, we have the Signal. Coming to early access in the following months, Signal over here, as you can see, a open world survival crafting game. What I really think is pretty interesting about it is the fact that you can make almost anything you want, especially the vehicles. It has a very interesting design for an alien planet too. It offers a 1 to 16 player co-op multiplayer as well. Signal is coming out of PCs into both generation of consoles early to mid 2025. This is how it looks.
Rediscover the path to the stars. Reinvent space travel.
And that being said, Moonshot over here, I think I mentioned it maybe once. Either way, it's the first reality-centered open-world survival and tycoon management sim in the making. Maybe that's what it was promising. It happens to be the work of a new team that describes it as an online co-op game, offering players a one-of-a-kind experience by letting them build their own moon base and explore its surface. The Moonshot was announced recently. This game is coming to PCs only either late 2024 or early next year.
Create a knowledge legacy from ground zero. Pioneer the first self-sustaining colony beyond Earth. And you might wonder why. Because it's our chance to forge a new path.